A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, the United States has launched a series of airstrikes against Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen, marking a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict that has already claimed countless lives. The airstrikes were initiated in response to the Houthis' repeated attacks on military and commercial vessels in the Red Sea, one of the world's most vital shipping lanes. Reports from the Iran Health Ministry indicate that the overnight strikes resulted in the deaths of at least 53 individuals, including 5 women and 2 children, while nearly 100 others were injured in the capital city of Sana'a, in the northern province of Sada, a Houthi stronghold bordering Saudi Arabia. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized the U.S. commitment to ensuring the safety of maritime operations in the region, stating, "We're not going to have these people controlling which ships can go through and which ones cannot." He further clarified that these airstrikes are not merely retaliatory, but rather part of a sustained campaign aimed at degrading the Houthis' capabilities. President Donald Trump echoed this sentiment, vowing to employ overwhelming lethal force until the Houthis cease their attacks, and asserting that Iran would be held fully accountable for its support of the rebels. The Houthis have a history of targeting international shipping in the Red Sea, claiming these actions are acts of solidarity with the Palestinians amid the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The group had previously suspended its attacks following a ceasefire agreement in January, but has recently threatened to renew hostilities against Israeli vessels in response to Israel's blockade of humanitarian aid to Gaza. Despite the threats, no Houthi attacks have been reported since the latest U.S. airstrikes. The recent military operation represents one of the most extensive U.S. attacks against the Houthis since the outbreak of the Gaza conflict in October 2023. Trump's national security advisor, Michael Waltz, confirmed that the strike specifically targeted multiple Houthi leaders, although he did not provide further details or evidence. Rubio noted that several Houthi facilities were destroyed during the operation, which has raised concerns about the potential for further escalation. In a statement, the Houthi Political Bureau warned that they would respond to the U.S. strikes with increased aggression. They claimed to have launched missiles and drones targeting the USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group, although U.S. officials stated they were not tracking any such attacks. The spokesperson for UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for restraint and a cessation of military activities, highlighting the dire humanitarian situation in Yemen, already the poorest nation in the Arab world. Rubio cited alarming statistics regarding Houthi attacks on U.S. Navy vessels and commercial shipping, noting that the Houthis had directly attacked the U.S. Navy 174 times and targeted commercial shipping 145 times using precision weaponry. These incidents have resulted in some of the most intense naval combat the U.S. has experienced since World War II. In response to the escalating tensions, Iran's Revolutionary Guard commander, General Hossein Salami, denied any direct involvement in the Houthis' operations, asserting that Iran does not dictate the actions of its allied militant groups. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi urged the U.S. to halt its airstrikes, emphasizing that Washington cannot dictate Tehran's foreign policy. The U.S. has long accused Iran of providing military assistance to the Houthis, with evidence including the seizure of Iranian-made missile components intended for the rebels. The recent airstrikes were notable for being conducted solely by the U.S., representing a shift in strategy as previous operations in Yemen had involved coordination with allies such as Israel and Britain. The USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group, which includes multiple Navy destroyers and a cruise missile submarine, is currently deployed in the Red Sea as part of the operation. The airstrikes have drawn criticism from the Houthi Political Bureau, which labeled them a war crime, and asserted that their armed forces are prepared to meet escalation with escalation. Eyewitness accounts from Sana'a described the airstrikes as violent, with explosions shaking neighborhoods and instilling fear among residents, particularly women and children. The Houthis have carried out numerous attacks on vessels in the Red Sea since the onset of the conflict in Gaza, which has disrupted global commerce and necessitated a costly U.S. military response to intercept the missiles and drones launched from Yemen. The Pentagon has reported that the Houthis targeted American warships 174 times and commercial shipping 145 times prior to the current military campaign. The Biden administration had previously attempted to limit Houthi capabilities through airstrikes, but with limited success. The current operation, authorized by Trump, represents a more aggressive military posture aimed at countering the Houthi threat to maritime security. Trump has warned that the U.S. will not tolerate Houthi attacks on American vessels, indicating that further military action could be on the horizon. Iranian officials have condemned the U.S. strikes, with Foreign Minister Araghchi demanding an end to American support for Israel's actions in Gaza and calling for a cessation of violence against the Yemeni people. The U.S. has intensified sanctions against Iran while seeking to engage in negotiations over its nuclear program, but tensions remain high as both sides exchange threats and warnings. As the situation continues to evolve, the international community watches closely, aware that any miscalculation could lead to a broader conflict in the region, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis in Yemen and impacting global shipping routes. The stakes are high as the U.S. and its allies navigate the complex landscape of Middle Eastern geopolitics, with the potential for significant ramifications for all involved. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.